Right, so I'm keeping up with Suzanne and Jade freebies and the rest of the DT project. So I've been doing these papers with adding napkins, flowers in them. So the napkins I've chosen are the ones that have appeared at my daughter's store shop. So it's one of those, and I've also have one of those. So spring usually brings these kinds of napkins, which is fun. So I bought myself a pack of each, and they were only $1.50, and they're all over, so it's not just one square that has the paper. So yeah, and of course I'm gonna say something from experience. Just buy one pack. You don't need to buy 4 of them, unless of course you have a good following and they all want to buy napkins from you, then that's kind of different. So only for you, one pack is enough, because so far I've not used one entirely. This one I'm almost finished with, this one not so much, and this one I've only taken a few of the flowers. So yeah, before I was finished with all of this, I also added some of them to these specimen ephemera that is in either the freebies or the kits. And I wanted to show you how I put them on. So there's nothing on this side, and I think a little bit of something would be nice. So I'm using my crimping shears that somehow plays well with napkins but can't bother with the fabric that it's supposed to cut. So I have this, and although it seems, a bit weird this way, once you glue it down with the glue stick, you add it like this, and I'm using this cheap Elmer transparent glue to actually finish up the project. So what this will do is actually make it transparent and glue it at the same time. And I'm using this plastic mixed media spreader that you usually use to make mark making or thick spreading paint, palette painting maybe it's called. And I'm making sure, so I'm using one of the white layers that were on the napkins to keep it clean. Now on the napkin, as you can see, it got very transparent, and it's gonna stay like that. Where's the one that so I've got one that is this one will show it a little bit. So on the sides, the glue will make a bit of a shine, but on the napkin, not so much. So up to you. If you, I don't mind that everything else got a bit of a shine, So it's going to go like this. Of course, the more glue you put, maybe it will also wet the paper, so it's gonna need to dry. And that's why I wasn't going to make a video just about that, because honestly this takes a time to dry. They said I have maybe one more paper, and as you can see this one is very colorful, but the inside might be useful for something else, so I'm going to maybe this. So I kind of like all of this here. Also, when you play with napkins, you can also use a brush with water to cut it. So it's going to be on this corner, so it's fine. And that will also help to have a nice invisible edge. Okay. So like this. And surprisingly, this is spreading a lot. I don't feel like I've put in a lot of glue, but as you probably can see, it's very spreadable. So you have to try not to press too much, but to press enough that the glue will go in the napkin. There you go. Okay. So I'm basically finished with all my papers. I really like this. And I will continue with adding the freebies in the pages. So I'll set up my workplace for it and I'll come back. So I am starting the transparency on my journal. So I have cut size and added the double-sided tape. So it will be smooth on the inside. Okay. So always rub whatever you're gluing with the double-sided tape. This way it really sticks. Now on this side I want to put this in so it will be cute, but it's going outside of these two lines, so I'm going to cut it in the middle. So I can adjust it inside like this, I suppose. And I'm not exactly pressuring myself to have this perfect. What I want is to cover the oval with something cute. Now before I would have been like, oh, I can cut this thing It's too cute. I just cut it with the die cut, and I worked on getting the little bit out with the epoxy tool. But now I see that it has to fit what I have imagined in my mind, and this is how it happens. You cut it and you adjust it. There you go. That's how it looks outside, and inside it will be like this. Now I'm going to need to let this dry because I want to sew around and probably here too. Not sure how I'm going to do that, but it's in what I want to do. Put that will look like this. This part goes inside like this. This will be in the back because this will be the front, this will be the back. We always expect this to be the front, but yeah, I'm doing the contrary. Now probably do something here too. I don't know what, but I will do something. So I'll wait for this to dry and come back. Okay, so I'm going to separate this in 5, which means that here I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there'll be 8.5 on each side. So we're good on that. I don't have much of a good. One of my first signatures will come here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I need to make a template. Alright, so I find my piece of paper and I've decided to go, so this is the half point, okay, and I went 2 up, so 2 and 2, 2 and 2, so that my signatures will be a 5-hole pencil stitch instead of 3. Now these things are for this, so when I will put my holes in my signatures, I will be able to just put them in between, put this in between, and I will be at the right spacing too. So right now I'm going to make my holes. So 1 here, 2, so they have to go through both layers, and I'll come back when I'm finished. Okay, so now that my holes are done, as you can see here, I'm made sure that I like how my signature is stacked up. I'm going to use this, put it inside like this. Okay, now I know where they are, and I will start here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and make sure that I close this a little bit because I need to go through. Now there are many other ways to do this, And I don't even have a method to this. I just do it the way I feel I need to do it for depending of the project. So now that I have my 5 holes, I'm going to use this kind of thread. So it comes in, I bought this from the Temu store, so there's plenty to make all my project. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right side. I want this on the back because my book will close like this. And a good way to sew your signatures in is to start by the last one here. So now the question is, do I want my thread finishing outside or inside? And at this point I prefer to do it inside. So when you start like this, you can start in the middle, you can start here, and I'm going to start here on the second. And the way to do it is to go one up and down, and you'll see what it will do. There you go. Then I go back down. I come here. And I'm here. So I can come back. And this. No. So I guess this one would be the difficult. There you go. Okay, now once you thread your like this, okay, you can see that I have nothing here, I have a thread here, nothing here, and I have a thread here, and it's the same on this side. So what we do is that we go back in the same holes. Okay, here. We go back in the cover here. Okay. And of course the main issue when you're doing this is to make sure you don't go inside the thread, which is bound, I believe, to happen anyway. So it's going back here, which is why most people prefer the 3/0 pamphlet. This way it is a lot easier not to cross your threads. Okay, let's start with going in here. Okay, so I'm back in. Wow, a lot of shaking today. Back inside. So this goes like this, I suppose. We're going to, okay. And we go for the first one. And we're ready to finish this up like this. But now we need to, make sure that everything is tight. This is where sometimes the worst part of this happens. Okay. Actually bring this back up, not sure. So this one wants to go here, and it wants to come here. Oops. It wants to come here. So I'm not going to panic about this, it's not really important. What I want is my signature to be tight. So now that it is, I can make my knots. Okay, and this you decide eventually if you want to keep like this or cut them really close. So my signature will look like this. This thing. Now see, this might look like a real problem, but it's not going to be that much of one because of washi tape. And this. So now when I close, I have this, and I could, you know, keep it like this, but I'll probably do something more. So I'll do all the rest of my signatures and come back. Okay, so I wanted to show you the way when you start with the middle. So I went in the middle here, came out. Next one, I came in this way. Now I went in this one by the back. So we are here. Okay. And now that I'm up here, I'm going to come back in this one outside. Okay, so if I'm lucky, I'm going to come back inside the signature. If I'm not, I'm going to need to loosen up, go back in like this, and then here the hole. There you go. Now once I'm here, I want to skip and go to the one below the middle. Then I'm coming back here. The last one at the bottom. Then I'm going to come here and making sure that I'm not going to thread inside the paper, not the paper, but the thread itself. We are coming back out here, and now we can, oops, you can see that all I have is the going back inside the middle one. So I'm back out here. Now I know it's not easy to see because of the thread and the paper and all, but we have to make do sometimes with what we have. And I'm coming back inside, and hopefully Yes, I'm inside. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut my thread, and I will adjust my thread, I mean. So right now I'm going to see if it's not, you see, so it got tangled, which is not surprising, which is one of the reasons I don't like this method, but I felt like making trouble for myself, I suppose. Okay, so it's here, and it's usually, you know, just one thread, but depending on the thread that you will pick, it will be more or less important. Okay, so it's there. I want to get this one out. And it's going to be easier for anyone with better eyes than me. Okay, so now we are going to make sure that everything is tight. See, that's not very tight, so we're going to try to make things tight. Sometimes it'll be easy, sometimes it won't. Okay, now I want, as per usual, I want one of them under. Making sure everything is tight again. Okay, and we make a knot. And my third signature is in. So it's a great way. It's just you know, a bit more finicky thanks to the thread going inside the others, but I wanted to show you from the middle. Okay, so I have finished sewing my 5 signatures in 5 holes. This is how it opens. It's a big one. So this is the signature, the second, third, fourth, and the 5th. I'm really happy about how it all fits inside, and I will, as expected, I was thinking that I was going to need a real closure to keep everything inside, so that is going to be something else to think about. Now here I haven't decided what I was going to put in, but I will put something in, and I might actually make like a pocket so I can put a big tag inside, like maybe a big writing tag, so it will be very solid. But I don't know yet, and just like I don't know yet what I will cover this with. Now I'm very happy that I have this design inside, which was the point, and finishing covering this will also be fun. Now I'll let you go on this, and we'll see you when I finish with the closure and some details. Thank you. Bye.